Good evening. It's 7:30 on the dot. Welcome to the Nothing But Web Entrepreneur Network. As you see, I've been putting promos out since Sunday. This is a very exciting episode. I brought another super friend of mine. I brought none other than Naciki Reid, which I'm going to introduce him first, like I normally do with the format. Those that are watching, don't forget you can watch the playback exclusively in the Nothing But Web Entrepreneur Network. If you come in late, you can always go back and watch. That's officially where the playback will be located. So as I start every episode, thank you for coming, and I'm going to give my introduction of Naciki Reid. So Naciki Reid, we went to high school together.
Yeah.
So who knows who you know in high school? So in Naciki Reid, I kind of knew him, didn't know him until we outside of high school, we became best friends. Not only does he do financial literacy, which we'll talk about today, but he also has an amazing contracting business, and he has a bunch of other businesses. I will personally recommend him for contracting, but he'll get into that later. He personally did my bathroom, came out amazing. But we're talking about financial literacy here. So initially, he is also one of the Nothing But Web clients, and he hit me up, reached out to me because he had his book that he was selling, which he'll talk about too. So with the book, he had someone doing a website and it wasn't really working out. So he said, hey, he reached out, we built a relationship. I said, you know what, I'll take care of it for him. The website was for this book here, Personal Finance Matters. This particular book, as you've seen in the promo, is here. He is the author of this book, which you'll talk about as well. So I know him from financial literacy. I know he does his different classes. He does contracting. He's a very busy man. So to get him tonight on a 7:30 on a Wednesday is an exclusive. So without further ado, I'm gonna pass the mic over to you, Naciki Reid. Naciki, the floor is yours. Welcome to the Nothing But Web Entrepreneur Network.
Well, I appreciate it, Q. And thanks, for reaching out again. You mentioned it. We know each other from high school, and I see all the work that you're doing, and it's amazing. And that's why it's so easy for me to align my company, my name, and my image with you, because I know it's in good hands. So again, I appreciate you having me on here, and I'm looking forward to just talking and getting information out about finances and what it's like to be an entrepreneur in today's day. And, being a savvy, financial person when it comes to entrepreneurship. So, without further ado, I'll share my screen and we can go right into it.
All right, there we go. Make sure it was recording. There we go.
All right. Let me just share my screen. All right. Do you see my screen?
All set. Go ahead.
All right, so a little bit about me. Again, my name is Naciki Reid. I'm a certified personal financial educator. I'm the owner and founder of SANN Enterprises, LLC. We provide personal financial literacy education. We also provide remodeling services and real estate investing. I'm also the executive director and founder of Wealth Generation Legacy. Wealth Generation Legacy is a nonprofit financial literacy company. We provide personal financial literacy to the Black and Brown community. And I'm also the author of the book, Personal Finance Does Matter. And I have over 10 years in the financial industry. So tonight's topics, we're going to cover how to become a good saver, right? The importance of budgeting and how to strengthen the Black dollar in our community. How to become a good saver. All right, so a lot of the stuff that I'm going to actually present today is, in a sense, common sense, right? But the thing with common sense, as you know, it's not as common as we would like it. So a lot of the things that you're going to hear, you're going to say, man, I've heard that before. Well, my thing is, have you put it to practice, right? And so that's the goal of tonight's presentation. You're going to hear some things that you've heard before, but hopefully it triggers something in you to say, hey, I need to actually put this into play. Right? So to become a good saver, first, you got to stay focused and stick to your initial vision, the vision that you had for your company. Why did you build your company? Why did you create your company, right? What is your why? You got to ask yourself, what's your why? That should be your motivation to want to have a successful business, right? So the first step in to become a good saver, you have to kind of initiate to that first initial response or when you created your company and why you created your company. You have to pull back. You got to feed on that, right? So you got to ask yourself, what is my why? Why am I doing this again? And that should motivate you to want to set money aside and become a good saver. Pay yourself first. We hear this all the time, right? When you go into business and you ask anyone who's been in the industry for a long time, they could be a mentor, they could be someone, a consultant, they're going to tell you, you need to pay yourself first, right? Because how else are you going to be a good saver if you don't have any money to save, right? So pay yourself first. And we're going to go into this a little later in the presentation on how, when we talk about budgeting. So here's some tips to become a good saver. One, automate the savings process. Now, if you have a 9-to-5 and you get paid, money comes out of your paycheck before you even see it. It either goes to paying your health insurance, it goes to some towards your retirement, it goes to taxes, things of that nature. So you don't see it. So you're not really feeling the pain of that money not actually coming into your account. So if we are already used to that, well, we should do that in our everyday business saving process. Set it up so that whenever money comes into your account, a portion of it automatically goes into a savings part of your account. It's that simple. Obviously, step 2, you want to track your spending, right? And you can do this by creating a budget. Find deals and negotiate. Now, we like to do that. We like to feel accomplished when we found a deal. We like to feel accomplished when we hear a price and we talk that person down a percentage, couple bucks or so. We feel accomplished. Continue to do this with your business. We do this in our personal lives all the time. Our businesses should not be any different. Set saving goals, right? You should set goals on how much money you would like to put away monthly, quarterly, annually. You need to set these goals and you need to write these goals down, because a goal that's not written down is a wish. You're just wishing that these things are going to happen. You need to set these goals down. And when you set these goals, you need to use the SMART goal method. SMART, S, specific, M, measurable, A, attainable, R, realistic, and T, time bound. You need to set SMART goals. And 5, avoid unnecessary debt and spending, because this will derail your savings process. And this can actually derail your business as well. So you need to avoid unnecessary debt and unnecessary spending. All right, so we're going to go into the importance of budgeting. So how to create a budget for your business. So the first thing we would want to do is we need to determine what you make on a monthly basis, right? You need to determine your revenue. So how much money are you bringing in monthly? Because we need that starting point, right? If you don't have that starting point, then you really can't start this process of creating a budget, because you don't really know what revenue you're actually bringing in. So the first thing that you would need to do is figure out the revenue that's coming in. And then you need to write all your business revenue down. 2, when you have your business revenue, now you need to figure out what all your fixed expenses are, right? What are the business fixed expenses? For instance, a fixed expense could be rent, right? That comes in monthly at the same amount every single month. So that's a fixed expense. It's not going to go up, right? These expenses, again, stay the same. These expenses can be paid out daily, monthly, quarterly, or even annually, right? These expenses should be subtracted from your revenue, right? So now you have your revenue and now you have your fixed expenses. Subtract them. 3, write down your variable expenses. An example of a variable expense could be utility, right? The light bill, or, you got light if you have a home office, you have, either oil or gas. These are things that, you can actually put in. But these are variable because they can change on a monthly, a daily, quarterly, annual basis, right? So when you write those down, create your column, write every single one of those expenses down, and then you should subtract them again from your revenue, right? So now you have your revenue, you have your fixed expenses, and then you have your variable expenses. Now, number 4, you need to create an emergency fund, right? This goes without saying. Failing to plan is the same as planning to fail, right? Every business should have a set aside account in which they're setting money aside for emergencies, because emergencies will happen, right? It's just like it's gonna rain, right? We all know it's gonna rain, but how many of us walk outside or we go on with our day and we don't bring an umbrella and then it rains, right? Because we don't have that blanket. That umbrella is that blanket that's protecting us from the rain. But some of us don't even own an umbrella, right? Or we don't bring it with us or leave it in the car just in case it rains. And guess what? It's at some point it's gonna rain, right? And an emergency fund is your umbrella. It's gonna protect you from that rain. Because the one thing you don't want is developing and creating your business, and then something happens that derails it because you didn't plan for the unseeable. Create an emergency fund and have that in your budget. Determine your monthly profit, right? So this is where you can sit down and, just kind of figure out with the products and services that you're selling, right? You can forecast how much you think that you're going to make in that month, right? And again, you can use the SMART goal method. This has to be realistic, right? You can't start a business and say, I'm about to make $100,000 in the first month. Now, let me put that as my monthly profit. That's what I want to make. I'm not saying it's unattainable, but if you just started out and you're an author and you're selling books or whatever, it may be a little far-fetched in your first month to get that $100,000 right out the bat. So when you sit down, just be very realistic with yourself, right? This is important for every small business. This will let you know how the business will perform financially for the month, right? Again, you need to know if your business is gonna be negative, which is not bad, especially if you're a small business, because not every single month you're gonna be positive. But if you're positive at the end of the year, well, that's a great thing, right? You may have 1 or 2 months that you're negative, but as long as you have more positive months than the negative months, then you're doing fine, right? So again, determine your monthly profit, if it's going to be negative profit, a positive profit, or if you're going to break even for that month. So now we're going to finalize our budget. Once you have finalized your budget, you know what you need in order to be profitable, right? So now you actually have a game plan for that month with your finances, right? That game plan will allow you to say, hey, maybe I need to cut down on my spending, or maybe I need to increase my marketing, right? Or maybe if I add 2 or 3 more clients this month, then I can go over the hump of that negative and create a positive profit for that month, right? And this is why it's so important to do a budget, no matter if it's a budget for your personal lives or budget for your finance, your business, right? It's very important to have one set up. I'm going to pause right now to see if Q has anything for me.
Yeah, so our first question in the chat, it says, what is your opinion on personal budgetary goals? Should you only save in savings or both checking and savings accounts?
So for savings, for your goals, I would put everything in a savings account, right? And so for instance, and we're going to actually talk about separating accounts and things of that nature, but you should definitely put it in a savings account. And if it's for your personal finances, I'd even go one step further and say create or develop a high yield savings account, set up a high yield savings account and put that money in that high yield savings account so that you're actually gaining some sort of decent interest on that money that you're setting aside, right? I would not put it in your checking account because again, money goes in and out your checking account. And also you're not getting any type of interest in the checking account because again, the fact that the money it's not sitting there long enough to garner any interest, right? It's just in and out, in and out. So I would absolutely put it in the savings account.
And then from YouTube, the next question we have is, would you recommend having multiple savings accounts?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I actually have multiple banks too. I just don't use just one bank. Some banks I have my emergency fund. Another bank I would put like a vacation fund, or if I'm saving up for, a vehicle, which I did. I had those in credit unions, right? Things of that nature. So having multiple savings accounts is actually not a bad idea at all. And I've done it. And I would implore that people do that.
All right, keep going. That's it for now.
All right. We pause real quick. This share screen. All right, there we go. All right, perfect. All right. Are we still see my screen?
Yep, we're good to go.
Perfect. All right, so the importance of budgeting, how to create a business budget, right? So banking. The first thing you want to do, every business should have 3 accounts. You should have a business checking account, a business savings account, and your own personal account, in which I would think that everyone would have their own personal account. Now, the way that it should work, and again, the information that I'm telling you is things that I've used and that works for me in my business. If you're a new entrepreneur, you would definitely want to talk to, a CPA, and they can actually give you more detail and definite about how to develop or what percentage you should, put towards each account. So your business checking account. This account is the most important account because anytime you do business under your business name, whichever comes, if it comes in cash, if it comes in a check, if it comes in a wire transfer, if it comes in Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, all transactions should go through your business checking account first. And one of the reasons why is because you want to keep a detailed account of all the money that's coming in, right? And this is important because we're talking about, we want to be organized, right? And one of the things that I've seen, especially someone who actually applies for grants and things of that nature, is that the fact that a lot of minority businesses don't qualify for grants because they're not organized. When they have to go through the entire process of getting information over to the grantors, they don't have that information organized and accessible to them, right? So we need to be more organized. And if we're more organized, a lot of the free money that's out there for minority businesses, believe me, you can definitely get it. So business checking, you have your business checking, all money funnels through that business checking account. In this account, you should keep between 30 to 40% at all times in this account, right? And this is for expenses and things of that nature for your business, right? So 30 to 40%. So if you get paid $100, $30 or $40 is staying in your business checking account, right? Your business savings account, 20%. Now, this account, again, you would want to talk to a CPA or an accountant because we're talking about taxes now, right? So again, you get paid $100, $20 automatically is going into your business savings account for your taxes, to pay your taxes, right? And again, if you save up 20% and at the end of the day or the year, you're only allotted, or the quarter, you're only allotted like 15%, well, now you got 5% left in there, and that's yours, right? Also, again, to the question that was asked earlier, you can open multiple business savings accounts, and I would implore you to, because we need to set up our emergency fund, right? So open up another savings account for your business, and then you can start putting money into your emergency fund, right? And I'll probably suggest putting around 5% into your business emergency fund, right? And lastly, your personal account. Remember how we spoke about pay yourself first? Well, you get paid that $100, either put $40 to $50, and then have that, either pay that out of your business checking account to your personal account as, you know, your wages, right? Because you want to pay yourself, right? So that's how you can keep your finances organized with these 3 dependent or 4 accounts, right? So strengthening the black dollar, right? So this topic I speak about all the time, right? And I provide personal financial literacy education to a lot of youth and adults all around Connecticut, from Bridgeport to New Haven, Waterbury, Hartford. You know, we're all over the place. And one of the things that we discuss is the fact that the black dollar, it's weak when it comes to circulating in our community, and how we can actually make that better, right? So just to give you a little background information, right? In the Asian community, a dollar circulates among the community banks, retailers, and business professionals for up to 28 days before it is spent with outsiders. The Jewish community, their dollar lasts for 19 days. In the Caucasian community, or WASP, White Anglo-Saxon Protestant, it lasts for 17 days. In the Hispanic community, even in the Hispanic community, it at least lasts for a week, right? But in the Black community, our dollar circulates among our community banks, retailers, business professionals for up to 6 days before it's spent with outsiders, right? And so in this kind of, when I explain this, right, I always ask the question, and take example of the Asian community. Is it a bad thing that the Asian community, their dollar lasts for 28 days? Absolutely not, right? We should have, no ill faith or any, negative thoughts between, why the Asians are doing well, or the Jewish community is doing well, or the Caucasians or the Hispanics, right? It's just, we just need to build our infrastructure and build our community and get back to where we were at one point before it was all taken from us and burnt down and literally just yanked from our hands, right? And then we think about, well, why does it last so long in the Asian community? And then you just bring it back to the point where if you walk into an Asian store, you're going to see Asian people working at that store. When you pay that Asian store, they're paying their employees. Their employees, when they get paid, they're not going to, jam skis or to buy food. They're not going to, a bodega in Waterbury to buy soda or whatnot. They're going to other Asian businesses and they're spending their money, right? And when that Asian business runs out of product, they go to or get that product from another Asian business that may own a warehouse that stocks up on those products. And when those products are out, that warehouse just goes and gets it from an Asian company, Asian country that makes those products, right? So their supply chain is vast. And that's why when it comes to, and we're going to talk about this too, when it comes to pricing of certain goods and products, when you go to a minority-owned business versus an Asian-owned business or a Jewish or Caucasian-owned business, they may have better prices because their cost of goods are a lot cheaper because of buying power, right? Now, with us, we may not have that potential buying power yet, right? And so our cost of goods are going to be a little higher. And when our cost of goods are a little higher, we're going to have to charge the appropriate or put the appropriate percentage on that because our businesses need to make money and survive. So don't take that as you going into a Black business and saying, oh man, why are these prices so high? I can get this from such and such store for like $2 cheaper or 99 cents cheaper or whatever, right? It's not like that store is trying to rip you off. It's just the fact that they just don't have the buying power yet, right? And because they don't have the buying power, they can't give you that same price that these other stores can give you because it's going to eat into their profit and then they won't be able to last. Any questions before I go to the next slide, Q?
Nope, you're rolling. Keep going.
All right. So again, how do you support Black businesses? Well, you do just that. You support Black businesses, right? You go into a Black establishment, you purchase their products, you purchase their services, right? You be patient with them. You know, they're trying to do their best, and a lot of times and I'm not saying people on this call, because everyone on this call and everyone listening in is great, right? But sometimes we tend to give people one chance, and that's it, right? You get one chance to earn my business for minority businesses, right? You get one chance to earn my businesses, and if you mess up, I'm not doing it again. I'm going to somewhere else, right? But how many times have we gone to, a fast food chain and they messed up our food, but you still go back? How many times you go to Walmart or Target or whatever, and the customer service is bad or something happens that pisses you off? You may not go back to that Walmart, but you're going to find another Walmart to go to, right? And you're going to give them a second chance, right? So it's like, we got to take that same concept of patience with all these other companies and do it with us, right? We just need to have a little bit of patience. Promote, right? If you see something, a business, if you dealt with a business, right? Promote them. Word of mouth, like talk, share something that they're promoting. Tell your friends, right? Post, like a post, comment on the post, right? Share the post, right? These are all things that you can do for free. It doesn't cost you anything, right? And do that, right? Because again, the algorithm will pick up that, oh, people are talking about nothing but web, right? Let's direct more people to that page, right? Because we're doing what we need to do, right? And create, right? Start creating businesses, right? It's never too late to, just start a business, especially if you're thinking about starting a business, and use Black businesses to start your business, right? Like for instance, I have 3 websites right now, and Q has worked on 2 out of the 3 websites. And if I knew Q prior to the first website, he would have had that website, right? And so Q's worked on all my websites. We have Black accountants that deal with our money, and we go to Black graphic designers for merchandise and materials and stuff like that. So we keep it within our circle of influence, and we're just building our business, right? Because a lot of the people that support us are minorities, right? And so we want to support our community by giving back and promoting, right? Again, supporting Black businesses. Buy Black whenever you can. Products and their services. Attend Black events. Make sure that they're sold out, right? If you're going to any event that a minority is throwing, try to get 2 to 3 other people to come with you, right? Like and share their content. Doesn't cost you a thing to do that at all. Again, be patient. Be patient on products, be patient on the cost that I just explained. Be patient with the inventory, right? It may be low. They may have been sold out. You may be waiting for some time. Don't get impatient and say, I'm going somewhere else, right? And even if you do go somewhere else, still purchase that product from that person, right? Because it's not bad to have multiple, right? Be patient with their services, right? we just have to be a community of people that supporting each other, and we're just using patience, right? Promote on social media. Social media is the place for advertising. It costs nothing to like, comment, and share. Leave a review on Google, Yelp, Facebook, IG, etc. And word of mouth. Word of mouth is so big right now, because if you enjoyed someone's product and you go out and you tell people about it, they're gonna be curious to try it as well. And word of mouth is great, right? And, you know, being in my old past life when I used to be in sales, they said someone that is happy with your product will go out and tell 10 people, right? But again, on the adverse, if someone is upset with your product, they'll make it their duty to go out and tell 100 people how dissatisfied they are with your product, right? So, and again, this goes for Black business owners as well. We need to make sure that we are giving the best customer service that we can provide at all times, because word of mouth is going to get you a lot of business. And lastly, start a business on your own. Use Black-owned companies to start your business. Web designers, accountants, real estate agents, business accountants, graphic designers, etc. Right? You helping these companies, these businesses, will then turn around and help you. Web designers are going to promote your business. Your accountants are going to promote your business because they have hundreds or even thousands of clients, right? And they can say, oh, well, Naciki, he has a book on financial literacy, and I'm looking at your tax returns, and it seems like you're getting a nice little refund right now. So you may need to contact him to figure out what you're gonna do with this money, right? Real estate agents, how many people do they talk to, right? They can always promote your business, right? Business consultants, graphic designers, etc. Is that one hand wash the other process, right? And not that crab in the barrel mentality, right? We need to have that one hand washes the other mentality. All right, so that concludes. I didn't want to be on here too long because I wanted to kind of just give you a brief kind of synopsis and kind of like a little taste testing on what SANN Enterprises can do for you. And so these are our tags on Instagram and Facebook, and also our web addresses. Again, both brought to you by Nothing But Web, designed in our design. His designs are absolutely amazing, and so we're happy that he did our Quentin did our designs for us. So again, this is where you can find me. If you need anything, I'm here. If you have a question, I don't charge to answer questions. You can send me an email, or you can send me a DM, or you can, again, go on the website and you can leave a message. I'll definitely contact you. All right, so Q, I am done. I'm turning it back over to you.
All right, Naciki, thank you. So we had a lot of different people come in and out. Does anyone in the chat have any questions? If you have any questions, you can type them in, I can add for you. Naciki, I'll start with my first question. So what is one thing that we could all go out and do tomorrow to strengthen the Black dollar in our community?
Oh, that's simple. To strengthen the Black dollar, again, like I said, it doesn't take any type of you don't have to pay for anything to like someone's business, promotes, share someone's business on your Instagram or your Facebook. Just promoting us, right? That will help get the word out, because there's always going to be someone out there that's going to need something that someone can provide for them. So definitely do that. And again, just go out and actually spend your dollar with the Black community. I mean, that's one of the biggest things, right? And that's why I feel that, as far as minorities, we're so powerful, right? Because the reason why we're so powerful is because the world in history literally has come together to try to divide us because they know how powerful we are. Right?
100%.
100%. It's like they know that, we are the chosen people. And in order to kind of like make us forget, they throw a lot of stuff at us, right? And so we're in this era of, maybe I'm not good enough, right? Maybe I'm not better than that business over there, that Caucasian business, that Asian business, that Jewish business. Maybe I can't, compete with them. But at the end of the day, the richest person ever in the world was a black man.
Black man, that is
Was
true.
a black man. But you won't read that in school, right? Because they'll tell you about the Rockefellers. They'll tell you about all this old white money, right? But they won't tell you about, Mansa Musa. They won't tell you about the Mali Empire, right? Because why would they want to, right? They want to make sure that they control the narrative. And again, we need to break that. And the first thing that we can do is go out and just, promote and support local Black businesses.
All right, so my next question is a loaded question.
Oh,
Now, we all know, everybody in here goes out and supports Black-owned businesses. We know other people that have businesses, whether, Black-owned. We want to support everything we can do. What do you think is the reason that so many people refuse to share and promote? So I can speak for my personal, personal journey. I've been doing this for a while. It seems like a lot of the times that we got somebody else came in the room. It seems like a lot of the times I'll meet a new client or somebody for the first time. And then once we start having a conversation with each other, we'll realize we may have 3 or 4 people in common that have never said anything about my business when I might know these people hand in hand. So what do you think is a reason that our community, because I think it's a problem that a lot of us have in our community. We have great businesses. We're always professional, but then how can we get over that hump? What do you think?
You know what? That's a great question. And I feel that if we were able to answer that question, we wouldn't be in the situation that we'll be in right now. We can just only speculate on that question.
Of course.
Because, there's a lot of, again, like I mentioned, that crab in the barrel mentality, right? You're doing something that's so positive and I'm there and I'm just not as motivated to do anything, right? So why would I support you if in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, damn, like, I can't even, I wish I could do that. Or man, you know what? He doesn't need my share. He doesn't need my light. Someone else is going to do that, right? Yep. So, it's a lot of different things. But again, like I said, you're scrolling through Instagram. I mean, everyone does it. You're scrolling through Facebook, you're scrolling through Instagram. If you see something that another business has, I mean, support it, like it. I mean, for instance, with me, with the remodeling company, like there's another remodeling company within Bloomfield, Hartford area, right? I share some of their stuff, right? I like their stuff, right? And, because I'm like, and I've actually told other clients, hey, listen, I'm busy. You need to reach out to this company, right? Or if it's something that I know I can't do and I'm already, and I know that company could do it, I'm going to share that business, and that contact information, because, at the end of the day, it's so much business out there. I can't do it all, right? So why not share with people that look like me, right? Exactly. So that's just my mentality. And again, at one point, I had that mentality that I'm just like, I'm not going to like this. I'm not going to like that, right? They have enough people that are, or I don't want to seem like I'm a groupie, or I don't want to seem like, I'm jocking them or whatever, right? I used to have that mentality, but now when you really see the bigger picture, it's like, why was I even thinking like that before, right? It doesn't hurt to like and share, or even just, talk to other people about that person's business. So.
Okay. And then I know a lot of people came in late. So can you run back the information about paying yourself first? Because that was very key. Those that came in later, you want to make sure you hear this. That's the key thing as an entrepreneur, you want to make sure you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, you want to pay yourself first. You want to set up so your 3 business accounts that you should have is a business checking account, right? That 100% of your business revenue needs to be funneled through that account. So anytime you do any business, 100% of any revenue, doesn't matter if it's cash, if it's Cash App, Venmo, if it's a check, it needs to go through your business checking account, right? And so you need to keep at least 30 to 40% in your business checking account, right? For expenses. Then you should have a business savings account. Your business savings account, you should have around 20% in that account for tax purposes. Then you should open another business savings account and set that account and set money aside for that account for your emergency fund, right? And then lastly, your personal account. So when you have, say you get paid $1,000 from a job, right? 40 to 50% of that $1,000, so $400 or $500 should automatically go towards you, go towards your a personal checking account. You could write yourself a draft. You could take payroll, however you want to do it, right? But 40 to 50% of that $1,000 that just came in should automatically go to paying you first. And then the remainder of that money goes to your business check-in and then your business savings account. So you want to pay yourself first because you're not in business not to make money, right?
100%. 100%. Thank you. So any other questions, anyone? I see some other people join later. Those are coming in. This is Naciki Reid, co-founder of SANN Enterprises. This is all a promotion I've been doing all week to focus to get everybody here to this event. And again, those that are members, let me show you. So Naciki, before we wrap for tonight and you tell everybody, tell them your Instagram handle, websites. I know you got a lot of websites. Go ahead.
Yep.
Where can they find you?
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram at @SANN_remodeling. So that's our I'm actually gonna pull it back up if I can.
Yep, you got it.
All right, perfect. So if you want, and you can take a snapshot, a screenshot. So the personal financial literacy is Real Estate LLC. I'm on Instagram. And then our remodeling business is SANN Remodeling, SANN_remodeling. On Facebook, again, it's SANN_remodeling. And then SANN ENT for our personal financial literacy business. Our financial literacy website is www.SANNenterprises.com. And our remodeling business is www.sannremodeling.com.
And then we don't forget to plug your book, shameless plug.
Oh yeah.
Don't forget about that one. Yeah, you got a book. We got one. Before you do that, we got one person raising a hand. Go ahead and unmute yourself. Ask your question.
Hey, what's going on, Naciki? This is Corey.
Hey, Corey, what's going on?
Ain't nothing much, man. Fantastic presentation.
I appreciate it.
No doubt, man. So I think you spoke about that. You also talk about like financial literacy, like as far as like legacy is concerned, like speaking to like the youth and what have you. So this is like a two-part question. At what point did you discover the power in being financially savvy? Was it like as a teenager? Was it in your early 20s? And at what point would you say that the average child or youngster, as you begin to groom them and teach them about financial literacy, when does it actually hit them that finance is important? Because I feel like we're in a generation or in a time period where kids don't see money and it doesn't exchange hands. It's just digitalized. So how do they find the value in something that they don't really see? They just see a number.
Right. You know what? Those are two great questions. So to answer question number one, I didn't find out about financial literacy and the importance of, credit and just being financially savvy until I want to say my early 30s, right? And it's crazy because I have a master's degree in business administration. And so I did my undergrad in business and then my master's in business. And we didn't have one class that spoke to us about personal finances, right? And how to develop that. And so it came to a point in which I was just horrible with money, to the point where I knew if I overdraft, I can just go to the bank and, give them a little cry and have them refund or have them, waive that $35 or $30 fee, right? But then I found out that they keep track of that. And after a certain amount, they just don't waive it anymore, right? So I didn't really care. I would tell my credit card companies that, hey, listen, I don't care. I'm not paying this. And then they would say, well, what about your credit? And I'm like, I'm going to live with my mom for the rest of my life. I don't care, right? I would tell them that. And they would literally stop calling because they're like, wow, this person is not paying. But then when I had a family, and then I started to realize that I wanted more out of life. I wanted to kind of, change the trajectory of how my generation and my family's generation was. I decided that, there was a point that I needed to kind of figure out some things because I was tired of being broke. And this is what I did. I actually sat down and I wrote down all my assets. And then I wrote down all my liabilities. And the number that I got at the end was so shocking to me. I'm like, if I died today, I'll die negative, right? At that point, I was like, I would die with no money. Matter of fact, I would die with a huge amount of debt. My actual, I didn't have any type of wealth at all. And I'm like, this is crazy. Like, I need to start building. So what I did was I just went out and I just started reading books. One of the books that I read was The Richest Man in Babylon. And that book really changed my life, right? And I started listening to podcasts. I started like searching YouTube. I did so much. And I put a plan together. And then I went through my plan and then it was working. And I said, well, if someone as hard-headed as me could do something like this, then I probably can get other people to do the same thing, right? So that was kind of the clicking moment in my to why I wanted to get on this personal financial literacy journey. Now, to answer question number 2, so again, I've taught right now, honestly, I think it's over 1,000 youth that have come through our financial literacy program through Waterbury, through Bridgeport, through New Haven, through Hartford. We've been cranking out personal financial literacy education programs for a while. And there was one child in our Waterbury program. He was in middle school, and this is how long we've been doing this. He was in 8th grade, right? That's middle school, yeah, 7 and 8. He was one of the youngest people in the class. And he came to the class and went through it. He graduated, got a certificate. He came back to our class his senior year in high school, right? And what we do with our class, we do an assessment, right? To kind of gauge what the youth know about financial literacy education, right? When this kid took his first assessment when he was in middle school, he got a 20%. And the reason why he got 20 is because it was 20 questions. I mean, even if you guessed, right? You're gonna get something right? And so he got 20%. When he came back his senior year in high school and took that pre-assessment, he scored a 70% on that pre-assessment, which means that he maintained or retained a lot of the information, and he remembered a lot of the information that was taught, right? So again, to answer your question, we take high school, middle school age students and up to start teaching them personal finance. But as parents, I mean, it's never not a good, I mean, it's always a good time to just talk to your kids about money, right? Even if you have smaller kids, show them how to change $1, like, right? Give them $1, give them 4 quarters, give them 2 dimes, a nickel, show them how to make change, right? Because I'm telling you, there's a lot of kids that don't know how to even do that, right? So it's never too early to start teaching your children or just start having money talks with your children.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
Thanks, Corey. We got one more. We got another question. All right, unmute yourself. Go ahead.
Oh, thank you so much,
No problem.
Quentin, for having these amazing get-togethers. What I like about them is people on the ground doing real things, dealing with what our kids, ourselves that we're dealing with. So I'm Heights Owasio. I run a youthful impact program, so I can relate to what you're talking about, teaching literacy and teaching practical skills.
Absolutely.
So that's very, very important to me. So I'm sorry I came in late, but whenever Quentin does something, I always try to jump in, even if it's for a few minutes, because it's so important for us all to get together. We're all up to big things, but sometimes we either need a reminder about what's important, the community that we're building for ourselves and or the next generation, but also like just practical things. I'm looking at your website and going, oh my God, I love that kitchen. I love that bathroom. And then I go, oh, just terrified. Like, okay, if I hire a contractor, they're going to take like 10 months and I'm not going to have a bathroom. And they're going to charge me like $100,000. And then it will just be like a nightmare. So on a practical level, because of Quentin, I've worked with him for some time. Like, I just need a basic painting job for a small 2-bedroom, and I like nice things, but I don't want to go overboard because it's not my place, it's a rental.
Okay.
So how would you go about, what should I do in terms of contracting you or another person to get started?
Absolutely. So, I mean, right now, you actually telling me about this has piqued my interest. So if you're on the website, I know that we have a area on the website where you can request a quote. That quote goes directly to our email. And the thing with us, we always respond to our emails within couple hours of getting it. We never let it linger, right? Because that's what we practice. So you can request a quote. We'll reach out to you and figure out what's the best day and time to do that quote for you. And we'll walk you through our process. And again, we've done so much work within our community, within our area. We'll give you, other clients that we've worked with, and they can vouch for us, right? On the fact that when we do a job, we only contract one job at a time. So we're not the type of company that's bouncing from one job to the other. We make sure that we finish the job that we've contracted or that we're contracted on before we move to another job, right? And Quentin can attest to that. When we worked on his bathroom, we were there every day, right? Because we knew that we needed to give his bathroom back, right? So that's the type of contractors we are. We don't go from job to job. We focus on the job that we're doing. And I feel that we do a fantastic job. And I was telling someone the other day that, more than getting paid for me is the before and after pictures that I can post, right? So because it shows how we actually pay attention to detail, and the fact that we just like doing what we do, right? So again, to answer your question, you can contact us on our website using the quote option or request a quote, and then we'll contact you as soon as we get that.
Thank you. I submitted the quote.
Perfect.
And Quentin will tell you this. I'm one of those people who's like, wait a minute, is this contact form real? Is it going to China? So,
No, it definitely does. I can speak personally about his work. When I interviewed him, my thing with contractors a lot of time is they never give you a timetable. He told me he'd be there for 7 days and get the job. He only missed one day because they were tired. It was like, listen, you guys, and I wanted my house back. Like I see you every morning. Like, all right, go.
That's reasonable. That's
take
totally
the day
reasonable.
off. I want my family to enjoy the house today. So they took the day off and came back, but literally they stayed and were focused and finished the whole project. So I'm a personal testimony for him as well.
That's important. I've submitted it, so respond back. But I just really want to appreciate both of you for what you're talking about. As a former college professor for 10 years, part of why I felt like what the heck is going on is we're not teaching young people to really get information they need to live a life that's meaningful. And that's very sad for me. When you go to school to get a doctorate, you think you're going to be a professor, you're going to make a difference, and then you realize, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. So I acknowledge both of you for saying, you know what, let's create what works for us. It hasn't been done before. School hasn't done it. Other people may not acknowledge it, but we know what we need to thrive. Good websites.
Absolutely.
And a beautiful place, we need to work hard, but come home to a beautiful place. So I love it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions before we wrap? See, you brought them out today. You got a good base over here. I like this. We'll talk about that. Again, I don't want to keep everybody's time. We're approaching that 8:30 time. I like to keep it under an hour. So he gave you all the information on where you can find him. I'm gonna share my screen. Again, you are in the Entrepreneur Network, so let me show you. So sharing my screen. If you're not a member of the Entrepreneur Network, why not join? I'll use promo code July for the special 87% discount. So to find Naciki, if you go to nothingbutwebllc.com, of course, shameless plug. If you click network members, if you scroll down, because we're continuing to grow each day, I'm gonna go. Naciki, I must say you were one of the first, as you can see right here, SANN's Remodeling. You were one of the first people to join the network. So again, and then once you get to Naciki and SANN Enterprises, if you want to send them a message as a DM directly, if you want to have a conversation, you want to set up an appointment with them, you could do it here. And you can also do a breakout room. So I know that you mentioned about possibly keeping track or keeping tabs of the contracting work. You can develop your own portal within the platform and do it right from here. So again, that's the Nothing But Web Entrepreneur Network. Let me stop sharing my screen. So as we wrap, thank you for everybody coming out tonight on a Wednesday at 7:30. As I promised, Naciki, thank you. You delivered another great presentation. Those that are brand new, it's your first time coming. I do this every single Wednesday. It's tiring, but I do it every single Wednesday. The first Wednesday of the month, if you're an entrepreneur, you have a business, come out. You do your quick elevator pitch. And as you can see, we bring help. My goal, as far as with the Entrepreneur Network, is to share everyone's ideas, everyone's goals, and share business. Like Naciki said, how do we circulate the dollar? Through the network, just like hopefully Naciki, you work with the contract, and hopefully maybe Corey, I know you had the question, maybe you can have a conversation with Naciki offline. Get your kids in the program. It's a great program. If there's no more questions, thank you. Everybody enjoy their night. Next week coming in, we have Kendrick Moore from More Motivation. Look out for the advertisements and flyers. Those will probably come out this week.